No, my mom didn't go to college. My father joined the Navy when he was either 16 and a half or 17.
My mother had never graduated from high school. My father was born in Greece and had a 4th grade education.
I didn't even understand what college was. So, and I grew up in a very poor community in Caguas, Puerto Rico.
My mother is not from the United States, so even the whole system of applying to college in the United States and admissions and transcripts, reference letters, financial aid, that was something she wasn't familiar with.
Growing up, there was an expectation for me to go to college. It was just very difficult. I grew up in kind of a impoverished environment, you know, in the projects.
A lot of growing up was about surviving from day to day, and college really wasn't discussed very much in the house.
Because when I was in Vietnam, a lot of the officers were white, and a lot of the people in the ground were black, Puerto Rican, Chicanos. And so the leadership in the military at that time was basically a white male structure. I was fortunate to be in a helicopter, and there was only, I think I only saw 2 black officers and maybe 1 Hispanic. But so I knew there was a relationship that all those officers have going to college.
I remember my stepfather once saying to me, "I don't care what you do when you grow up. I don't care if you decide to be a janitor. I don't care if you decide to run for President of the United States." He said, "Mostly, I just don't want you to end up somewhere. I want you to choose where you end up."
The greatest barrier to attending college was, 1, there was no expectation, and 2, there was no money.
The greatest barrier to my attending college was money.
Thank goodness for financial aid, thank goodness for scholarships, for people who stepped up and were generous and who helped pay my way into school.
When I first stepped on the campus, I was a mess. Since it was all new to me, the buildings, there are just so many buildings all over the place, students everywhere.
You know, I was very nervous, but I was also very excited.
Somebody asked me if I was afraid of the campus and everything else. And like I say, once you spend a year in Vietnam in a gunship, assault helicopter, nothing in the world would scare you, nothing.
I felt like a bit of an imposter. I wondered if maybe I really should be in college, and was that the place for me? And it didn't take too much time before I realized that I belonged there as much as anybody else.
And it was the first time in my life where I actually got to meet people from other parts of the country, from other parts of the world, and to learn about things and to hear about ideas that I would never have ever heard if I hadn't gone to college.
And did I ever think I would make it? Absolutely not. You know, due to going to college multiple times. So I didn't just go once, I dropped out again because of the no support, went back, dropped out, had kids, it was even worse. And went again, and I tried it again with little to no support. But I accomplished it.
The biggest challenge, of course, was staying afloat financially, working during the day and going to school at night and being able to borrow the money to attend school and be able to finance my education.
I knew I was going to make it. Failure was not an option.
To be the first generation to graduate from college, to me, has been the best thing that I have ever accomplished other than my children.
What I would say most I got from my college experience is realizing what I was made of, that there wasn't a barrier or hurdle I was not going to be able to get over.
When you make a commitment to go to college, it's not about yourself, it's about your community.
I just keep thinking, how can I help a young person to do the same thing that I did, to get out of the projects, to get out of having to struggle every single day of your life.
The greatest indicator of economic success in your life is a college degree.
Every child should be born into this world with an opportunity to achieve. And that is not the case now.
Puerto Rican American, Black American, Greek American, we're American. We're in one big boat. And we have to make sure that there's no leaks in that boat.